right, welcome. First off, can you think of two ways that A changes the graph? Right here, where am I? There I am. Right here, we have a quadratic equation. A is the number that's in front of the x squared. How does that change the graph? There are two ways. One, if it's positive, that means that the graph opens up. If it's negative, that means the graph opens down. Right? Positive or negative. It also changes how steep it is. If it's a big number like 12, then you have a really steep parabola, a narrow parabola. If you have a fraction like 1/12, you have a really wide parabola. So A can tell you how steep or how wide it is, and also whether it opens up or down. Right? Do you think that this equation has a maximum or a minimum? Let's think about that. Well, here's the A. This is the number in front of the x squared. It's positive. So if it's positive, that means it opens up like this, and it has a minimum. What about this equation, this parabola? Where's the A? A is this number right here. Is that a number? It's actually a -1. There's an invisible 1 there. That means it's opening, it's negative. That means it's opening down. And it's got a maximum. All right, let's sketch some parabolas. We're not doing exact graphs, we're just doing sketches. Here's something that will help. Here's the vertex. The vertex is 5, -3. It's a maximum. If it's a maximum, that means that the parabola is going to open down like this. And here, let's see if I can pick up the right tool here. This is the line of symmetry. The line of symmetry is right here at x equals -5. Let's try this one. Where's my vertex? -1, 2. So I go over 1, up 2. It's a minimum. Which way do I graph it? Going up. Where is my, oops, this is what I need. Axis of symmetry is at x equals -1. This parabola is symmetric right along the vertex. Okay, get ready to learn a faster way of graphing. Here we go, a faster way to graph. We're going to use the axis of symmetry and the vertex to do it really fast. What you need to know is that the equation for the axis of symmetry is x equals -b/2a. You have to memorize it. X equals -b/2a. X equals -b/2a. Got it? Okay. So what is this b and what is this a? Let's take this, get rid of this, and move this out of the way. There's my equation. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The a and the b are both going to affect the axis of symmetry. It affects how far over it goes, the b and the a. Okay? This number is going to affect how high up it goes, where the vertex is. Okay, so here's how it works. Take a look at a faster way of graphing. Here's the equation. First question is, what is my a? There's an invisible 1 in front of that x squared. What's my b? Right here, -2. What's my c? 2. Good so far. Let's use this equation. X equals -b/2a. It equals -2 over 2 times 1. What does that equal? Well, -2 over 2 is just -1. The opposite of that is +1. What do I do with that? Well, first, let's go ahead and graph it. X equals 1. This is my line of symmetry. Right there. The hump or the dip is going to be right on that line. Okay, so we've got our 1. What do we do with that? Well, let's use that 1 as one of our points. And I'm going to use it as the middle point. You'll see why. That 1 becomes the middle point because I know my vertex is going to be on this line. So vertex is going to be 1, comma. Let's plug 1 into the equation and see what we get. We end up with 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus 2. What does that become? Do you see a 0 pair here? Negative 2 plus 2. So the answer is the y value for that is just 1. That's my vertex. I can plot it. 1, 1. There's my vertex. Which way is this parabola facing? This is positive. A is positive, so we know it's going to be facing up. But we're not sketching this time. We're going for an exact graph. That means that we've got to plug a couple more points in. Watch how I do this. I want 5 points total, and I'm going to take these 5. Okay? This is my middle one. I'm going to go 2 on either side. So I've got 1, 0, and negative 1 below. And from here going up, 2 and 3. Good? Okay, we've got to plug each of these in. Let's do it. Plug 2 in here. You end up with 2 squared minus 2 times 2 plus 2. Do you see a 0 pair? 2 squared minus 2 times 2. That's your 0 pair. You're left with 2. Let's try plugging 3 in to the equation. 3 squared minus 2 times 3 plus 2. That's 9. Minus 6 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, watch what happens on the bottom side. We've got 0. Let's plug 0 in. 0 squared minus 2 times 0 plus 2. What do you end up with? Just 2. Do you see a pattern? Do you see how the symmetry is coming together? What happens if we put negative 1 in? Negative 1 squared minus 2 times negative 1 plus 2. All right, well, let's look at this first. Negative 1 squared is 1 minus negative 2. Is that the same as adding 2? So we've got 1 plus 2 plus 2 more. That makes 5. Is that what you expected? It should be symmetric. We've already plotted 1, 1. Let's go ahead and plot 2, 2 and 3, 5. And on the other side, it should be exactly the same. It's going to be 0, 2, negative 1, 5. And now we're going to draw a nice line. Oh, I hope yours is better than mine. But it looks something like that. Going on and on forever. Okay? Let me give you another example. What's my A? 1. It's an invisible 1 from right here. What's B? 6. What's C? 5. Good? Okay, axis of symmetry. Let's figure out what it is. It's negative B over 2 times 1. What does that equal? That's negative 6 over 2. That's negative 3. Okay, let's plot axis of symmetry. Negative 3 is right here. So my axis of symmetry is right there. Let's take, oh, well, we know that we're going to plug this right into our middle point. Let's figure out what it is. You've got negative 3 squared plus 6 times negative 3 plus 5. Negative 3 squared is 9 minus 18. Ooh, what are we at? Negative 9. Negative 9 plus 5, negative 4. Okay. What are the other points we're going to put in? Well, we want 5 points, 2 on either side. Okay, so let's take the ones that are really close. We've got negative 3. Let's try negative 4 and negative 5. And let's take, we've got negative 3. Let's take negative 2 and negative 1. Good so far? So my vertex is negative 3, negative 4. Let's plug these other points in, see what we get. Negative 1 squared plus 6 times negative 1 plus 5. Okay, this becomes 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. And here's another positive number. Add those up. That's 6 minus 6, that's 0. So if I put negative 1 in, I end up with 0. Let's put in negative 2. Negative 2 squared plus 6 times negative 2 plus 5. Negative 2 squared, that's 4, minus 12 plus 5. I've got 9 positives and 12 negatives. Negative 3. What do you think I'm going to get if I put negative 4 in? Any predictions? Negative 4 squared plus 6 times negative 4 plus 5. Okay, this becomes 16 minus 24 plus 5. Okay, what's 6? Add the positives up first. What's 16 plus 5? That's 21. So 21 positives and 24 negatives, I end up with negative 3. Is that what you expected? Any guess what you put in next? We put in negative 5 squared plus 6 times negative 5 plus 5. I bet you see a shortcut already. You end up with 25 minus 30 plus 5. Add the positives, 30. Got a 0 pair. We end up with 0. Let's plot them. All right, let's do the vertex first. Negative 3, negative 4. Right there. Negative 4, negative 3. Oops, right here. Let's do the same on the other side. Negative 2, negative 3. Let's do negative 1, 0. And of course, negative 5, 0. Now connect the dots. All the points on this line will make that equation true. Good? All right, let's jump to our closure. Let's actually just take a look at this one first. What's your A? A is negative 2. What's your B? 4. What's your C? It's 0. You can't see it, but it's there, plus 0. You can go ahead and solve that one and graph that one now. What did you learn today? How to graph using the axis of symmetry in the vertex. What is the equation of the axis of symmetry? X equals negative b over 2a. Yes, you need to memorize that. Which letter affects the graph most? The A does, because it's multiplied by x squared. So that makes its effect big.